Bien sûr, la psychiatrie est d'un grand intérêt pour l'industrie pharmaceutique, laquelle peut vendre des psychotropes pour chaque trouble contenu dans le DSM.
J'ai vu leur campagne de marketing, c'est partout.
Oui, mais si tu remarques bien, ils font aussi le marketing des troubles mentaux. Les laboratoires pharmaceutiques font de la publicité pour les troubles du DSM dans la presse, à la télévision et sur Internet, conseillant vivement aux gens de parler à leur docteur. Leurs experts payés parlent de nouvelles épidémies de maladies mentales dans des talk-shows. Ils placent des articles dans les journaux et recrutent des psychiatres pour conduire des études et écrire des papiers qui donnent une apparence scientifique aux troubles mentaux.
Parce que si les gens pensent qu'ils ont le trouble, ils demanderont le psychotrope.
Exactement.
The pharmaceutical industry markets disorders. Because if you can market a disorder, then you've got something to sell your product to treat.
So people suddenly come to think of things they previously didn't regard as a disease state as a disease. Go to the doctor, see the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist then prescribes the drug that the drug companies have received FDA approval for. And everyone is happy except for the patient.
They're all working together, the psychiatrists, the pharmaceuticals, and one feeds the other. So again, job security for the pharmaceuticals and also job security for the psychiatrists.
Il n'y a pas que les laboratoires pharmaceutiques qui font la campagne pour ces maladies. Un psychiatre, Joseph Biderman, a créé et popularisé un trouble appelé bipolaire pédiatrique. Il a déclaré que ce trouble pouvait commencer dès que l'enfant ouvre les yeux.
Bipolaire? Comme saute d'humeur pour les enfants?
Malheureusement, oui. En 9 ans, Dr Biderman a alimenté à lui seul une explosion du nombre d'enfants étiquetés comme étant bipolaires. Et la plupart furent mis sous des antipsychotiques puissants, conçus pour les maladies mentales les plus graves.
Je ne savais pas.
Même le psychiatre qui a rédigé le DSM-4 a admis que celui-ci a contribué à lancer la mode du bipolaire pour enfants.
Well, we learned some very, very painful lessons in doing DSM-4, but inadvertently, I think we helped to trigger 3 false epidemics. One for the childhood diagnosis of bipolar disorder.
Trop tard maintenant, n'est-ce pas?
Pour beaucoup d'enfants, oui. Vu que les psychiatres prétendent que les troubles mentaux tels que bipolaires ne se guérissent pas, ils se sont fait des clients à vie pour eux et l'industrie pharmaceutique.
Donc c'est un partenariat naturel.
Absolument. L'industrie pharmaceutique fournit aux psychiatres des sommes énormes pour la recherche et ceux-ci inventent encore plus de maladies à traiter avec des psychotropes.
Drug companies have become increasingly dependent on mental illness diagnoses in order to maintain their profit margins. And psychiatrists and increasingly clinical psychologists are more than happy to manufacture mental illness in order to make that happen. Hence, the increase in size of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders.
The strategy is how many people we can diagnose with a particular label that would be broad enough to include a ton of people in it. And the mentality behind that is the sale of the pharmaceutical drug, which eventually becomes the treatment.
These drug companies are making a lot of money, and they're spilling that money and sending that money to people that will help support their cause. So it's not a surprise at all that they have infiltrated so many of the committees within the DSM and so much of our own medical education.
Attends. L'industrie pharmaceutique a infiltré les comités de psychiatres qui décident quels troubles ajouter dans le prochain DSM?
Dans le DSM-4, 56% des membres du comité avaient des liens financiers personnels avec l'industrie pharmaceutique. L'industrie qui allait profiter des 115 maladies mentales supplémentaires qui ont été votées.
Et bien sûr, on a de plus en plus de maladies qui seront traitées avec les drogues.
Et encore plus de symptômes pour chacune.
The whole world is being made crazy, really. We have these proliferation of categories which have become more and more encompassing, encroaching in ordinary everyday life.
There isn't a human being on the planet who doesn't have at some point, if not several points, in a day or a week, distress. It's part of being human. But to say that because you have this distress, that you now are diseased.
If you take a god man in India who wanders around with a shawl and meditates for 17 hours a day, drinks rainwater and engages in some kind of spiritual or religious discipline or practice where he might roll on the ground for 100 miles to a holy place, people there don't persecute those individuals. They accept them as people engaged in religious practices. But here, if you took those same individuals in India and you had them walk across a campus in America, they would immediately be arrested and put into a psychiatric facility because they're manifesting psychosis. This varies by culture.
What do we want to straitjacket everybody? Is everyone going to be the same? What about people that do have a little bit odd behavior? Is a little odd behavior bad or dangerous? It's just different.
You want this thing to cover, all manner of aberrant human behavior. So if you can cover every bit of it, then you're going to have the best chance possible to a billable unit of service.
Et d'ailleurs, si aucune de leurs catégories ne convient pour vous, il y en a une autre dans laquelle ils peuvent vous caser.
Naturellement.
This is number 301.9.
312.9. 292.9.
Bipolar disorder, not otherwise specified.
Gender identity disorder, not otherwise specified.
Disorder of infancy, childhood, or adolescence, not otherwise
not
specified.
Otherwise specified.
Not otherwise specified. What the hell does that say? They don't know.
It's kind of like a catch-all.
It's the garbage can for the leftovers.
There's even a box for people that don't fit in the other boxes.
To me, it's insane.
This is like rubbish to me.
This is scary to me.
This is hackery, quackery, dockery.
Qu'il faille créer une catégorie divers pour ce qui reste démontre la médiocrité de cette science.
Tout à fait. Comme le trouble de l'attention et hyperactivité sans précision, trouble de l'alimentation sans précision, trouble de l'humeur sans précision.
You can always use the NOS, the not otherwise specified diagnosis, and that's a billable service.
Not otherwise specified means that you're sort of at sea to some extent on the exact diagnosis, meaning it doesn't fit into any of the categories you've established.
Unspecified mental disorder. You see, that's considered a disorder. Having nothing wrong with you is now a disorder. That's what this says. Can you believe it?
Non, je ne peux pas y croire. Il y a une catégorie trouble mental sans autre indication? Autant dire, et on va pas vous la décrire. C'est une maladie mentale aussi?
Pire encore, selon le DSM, vous pourriez avoir comme diagnostic une maladie mentale non listée.
Sans blague.
Tiens, écoute ça.
These diagnostic criteria and the DSM-IV classification of mental disorders reflect a consensus of current formulations of evolving knowledge in our field. They do not encompass, however, all the conditions for which people may be treated or that may be appropriate topics for research efforts.
It's even in the language of the introduction, it's basically saying we're trying to have a diagnosis to cover all the bases of anything that somebody could come in complaining about, which is, again, entirely backwards from how medical diagnoses are come to.
Ce DSM n'a rien à voir avec la médecine.
Non, c'est du marketing pur et simple.